Hi everyone, Val in Real Life here. I just wanted to take a little bit of time today to show you around the Roswell Mill and the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area that right here in Roswell, Georgia. And I'm using my TomTom Bandit action camera. I'm hoping what I can show you is how easy it is to capture, edit, and share video without hours and hours of editing and time at the computer, so you can be out doing more of this. I've come down to show you around one of the iconic places of my little hometown of Roswell, Georgia. Down there you can see the mill and the bridge, and there's the river, which is Big Creek, and flows into the town. But first I'm going to take you down the city side of the river, the Roswell city side, that takes you to some of the mill ruins that are Civil War era. Alrighty. A little bit about the dam, and I'll walk up and show you that in a moment. But here, I'll show you the kind of mill ruins. It's kind of cool, and you can see, of course, kudzu. If you're familiar with kudzu, there it is. If I can give you a better shot of some of those ruins. Okay, so let's go by the river. Here's our sort of infamous storm drain that runs along. It's not the prettiest, but it is here. And the reality of where this is, which is right outside the city of Atlanta. This is what Big Creek looks like, going down into the Chattahoochee. And right over there on the other side, that is the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area. And that's usually where I'm hiking when I need my local fix of nature. It is something else today with all this rain. That's a lot coming through there. Way more it is. That's the dam that powered the mill. That is a whole lot of water flow. I'm going to walk around the other side and show you what it looks like from the top of the dam, but I'm going to do that from the National Park side. At any rate, if you are in the area, the National Park Service runs tours, sort of historical tours. Jerry Hightower is the dude I've been along with before. So he does a great tour. It really helps you feel connected to a place to find out how and why it got started, and the people who founded it. Alright, hold on. You navigate the slick mud here and these bits and pieces of old mill. So there's another view of the of the mill ruins as I try to stick this camera through the. Alright. So here's the bridge that connects the city side, the mill side on the city of Roswell, and connects it to the national park side. As you've heard me call this Big Creek, and that's what it's known as today. Historically, this has been called Vickery Creek, and in fact, the unit of the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area that we're about to cross into is the Vickery Creek unit. There are several, so this is the unit that I spend the most time in, Hickory Creek. Second most for me is probably Island Ford, because it's second closest to me. Alright, let's give you a shot. This is downriver. It is really, really high. So there's these, a little bit of steep stairs here. You're going to have to bear with me. Stairs are not my friend anymore. Recreation area. You can see it's a web of trails. So when I come and I'm training or just need to get out, there's a lot of options to loop and work my way around. If you've followed me for any length of time, you know that last September in 2014, I went to Idaho for the hill hike and raft with Epic Social Adventures. And this, my friends, is where I trained. Not quite Idaho elevation changes, but with 40 pounds strapped to your back and keeping a good clip and working. For those of you who aren't familiar, this bright red soil is Georgia clay. It is extraordinarily slippery. The National Recreation Area side is typically where I park, come on up and do my loops. And so now you have a little bit more about where I do this on a daily basis. This is where I come. And if you recall that map I showed you, there is a web of trails. On many occasions I have found very confused hikers in here, people maybe not as familiar, not prepared to actually have to navigate. So when you come in, just take a picture of that map with your phone, get your bearings. Ran into a poor family here, completely lost. They'd been going in circles for hours. And I thought I had them on the right track until I went back to where I was parked, which was on the National Recreation Area side, down by Riverside Road, and they were there. Fortunately, that's not where they were trying to get to. They were trying to get to the mill side. All right, so here's a look from the trail. Wow. Oh boy, look at that. Wow. Okay, so here's a look at the top. So you'll notice where I was over on the other side earlier. So you'll see that closed for revegetation and erosion control. One of the things that happens here is people make their own paths and all these social trails form. And it really dramatically increases erosion. So please don't do that. Stay on designated trails. And the National Park Service and volunteers work really hard to close off social trails that aren't official ones. At any rate, it looks kind of peaceful from up here, doesn't it? When you get to the other side, it's like a, torrential overflow. So let's scramble down these rocks. And this is where I run a very, very, very good chance of falling on my butt, guys. So let's see if I can do this. This is where I spend a good bit of time on these trails. So there's the dam. Let's see if I can get you a little closer. This. So kind of leaks through the sides there, right? All right, let's see if we can get back up. Truly love having access to this so close to home. As a hiker and sometimes having to actually train for hikes, you can see looking up here, there's some pretty good elevation. I mean, it's not the Rocky Mountains or even the Smoky Mountains, but it's enough to get your heart pumping, and I'm sure you can changes to give you a good workout if you want it. And there's some trails that are fairly flat, some sections that when I could run, they're fairly flat. They're great little interval trains to do some trail running. And it is super, super slick right now. Between the mud and the leaves, everything wet. Oh boy. That's it. There you have Vickery Creek and the Roswell Mill.